All right, those were some clips from my training leading into race week. That treble run at the end was actually supposed to be a 10-mile run, but I had to cut it short at about 4 miles because my ankle was actually bothering me. So that's kind of worrying me going into race week, but there's plenty of time. If I take it easy, I know it'll heal up. The next day, Sunday, I went on an easy ride in the morning, and then I drove over to Lake Longhorn, which is about a 40-minute drive from where I live, where I could practice open water swimming and specifically test out my wetsuit because I haven't actually worn a wetsuit since my Ironman back in May. And this race this weekend is probably going to be a wetsuit race, so I wanted to make sure I was used to that feeling, practice taking it off a little bit, and actually trim down the wetsuit, trim down the ankles, trim down the wrist a little bit to make it easier to get off after the swim. That went really well. I didn't end up swimming that long, but I fulfilled the purpose of going down there. Then on Monday, I started the morning with a VO2 max ride. It was a short, easy VO2 max ride, but still, it's never comfortable. And then I spent most of the day rehabbing my ankle, icing it, putting some icy hot on it, and even taking some NSAIDs. And it started to feel a lot better, so I went and did a run with a friend from school, and my ankle was feeling a lot better, but started to kind of bother me towards the end of that run. And I also laced up my race shoes with bungee laces. That's something I do so that I can transition easier off the bike without having to tie my laces up. And if they get loose, I can just pull on the bungee cord and make it tighter. All right, so done with that. Shoes are ready to go for Sunday. Now time to kick back and relax. So today, I'm actually about to head over to the track for some 800s. Still a little stressed out about that ankle, but it's definitely getting better with each day. So that's starting to stress me less and less. And then I actually just had this come in. I got some custom goggles from this brand called the Magic 5. Had a 40% off coupon. And the goggles I have been using, the Rokas, sometimes they leak. They actually get pretty foggy, which is kind of annoying. So I'm looking forward to trying these out tomorrow. And then if it goes well, I'm actually going to use them for the race. All right, those were some clips from my workouts yesterday. The ride was a tempo ride, which was actually quite difficult, and I was a little bit worried I was going too hard, but I have to trust in the process, and hopefully my legs will be recovered by Sunday. The swim went really well. Swimming has always been a little bit of a weakness for me, and it's not like it's really good, but it's better than usual. And the goggles were great. No leaking, no fogging, and they fit perfectly. So today I'm actually going to be taking my bike out on the street, which I rarely ever do. I do 90% of my rides on the trainer, which as someone who lives in Houston, it's a bit of a mystery why I don't like riding my bike more outside, but I don't know. I just prefer riding indoors. So I'm going to ride it outside today because I want to give it a chance to test out all the gear, make sure that my tires are pumped up, that there's lubricant on my chain, that my shifting is charged up, and practice handling a little bit outside because it's a little bit different when you're sat on the trainer. You don't really have to think about it versus when you're actually cornering on the road. So I'm doing a little bit of a threshold ride just to test it out. And after that, the only thing left I have today is a little 2-mile run at a run club that I'm a part of. So that shouldn't be too stressful on the legs, but it's just nice to keep them moving. At this point, my ankle feels pretty much recovered, so I'm not really worried about that at all. So I'm going to go ahead and go for this ride, and I'll see you out on the bayou.
Exactly what I'm looking for. And as we grow, I'll keep running till I can no more. You'll always be the one I want at midnight. You'll always steal my breath away. You'll always be my heart, my life, every second, every day.
Race day.
That's right. So the race was good. I got in the water, and it was a good temperature. There was not too bad of a current. You know, they say it never rains on race day, and I wouldn't say it was raining. There was like precipitation approaching the ground from the atmosphere on the day of the competition, but I wouldn't say it was raining on race day. And then, so I was on the swim. Everyone around me was, you know, when you like touch their feet, and that's supposed to signal you're about to pass them. And then that's the point they start like breaststroking and kicking you in the head. So that was a lot of it, but I did really well sighting, and I came out of the water like just under 35 minutes, which was like right on pace. Transition was super long, but I got through it quickly. Unfortunately, everything was soaked, like my bike, my helmet, just everything was completely soaked. The bike I was right on pace the whole time. It was a little bit tough because the road surface was really bad.
Why was it bad?
It's like chip seal, like rural roads with potholes everywhere.
Do you think it got rained on?
No, there was some sort of moisture on the ground, like puddles. I don't know where it came from. Maybe tides.
People were watering everything.
Yeah, I think they're trying to sabotage the race. So they marked the potholes with orange paint, but because of all the puddles, you couldn't even see it. So I did get a flat, but that cost me only like 2 minutes. And then again, a lot of people on the bike did not know bike etiquette. They were just like passing you, not saying on your left, and then they were staying on the left side of the lane instead of getting over, and then they would slow down, and it was such a mess. And I kept passing this dude over and over again because he would pass me, slow down, and I would pass him, then he would pass me and slow down. I was maintaining a steady pace, like I know this, so he was just flip-flopping, and every time he passed me, he would not say on your left. And every time I would pass him, I would be like, on your left. He never got the message, so I really just want to like talk to that guy. He was riding a Cervelo P5, so maybe I'll track him down and be like, sir,
probably have photos.
You're way too old to not know how to ride a bike properly.
I can get his name, probably from the bib.
Probably. It was bothering me. Like, it was kind of dangerous, too, at certain points, because I might start to pass someone, and then he comes around on my left, because he didn't tell me he was coming on my left, so I had no idea. But other than that, the bike went really well. I think I definitely tried a little too hard, but I finished in like under 240, so about on pace, a little slow. Then the transition was completely muddy, so it was a little bit slow going through T2, but I got out on the run and I knew like my legs were pretty tired, so I gave up immediately on trying to go 90 minutes, and my new goal was 100 minutes, which is like 720 per mile or something. That started to become less and less likely pretty quickly. There are actually a lot of hills because you're going up on these bridges over and over again, and there's a lot of like out and back, so it was kind of a weird, boring course, but it was pretty. Like the river was pretty, and I was getting really, really nauseous at the end, but I kept pushing. Finally got to the end, and Caleb told me as I'm going across the bridge that I'm this close to being in 4th place in my age group. So I literally gave it everything I had and crossed the finish line, immediately collapsed and vomited right in front of the photographer. So
that's hot.
But I don't know, I finished just over 5 hours, which is kind of like, I wish I had gone under 5.
You were under 5:02?
Yeah, I was under 5:02, but it is a personal record, and the conditions were pretty rough, so I'm actually pretty happy with it. Hopefully, I'll get a spot to Finland, but I don't know if it's going to roll down. So.
Stay tuned to tonight to find out.
For 5th place, Maxwell Galbraith. Maxwell did a 5:03.22. In 4th place, Benjamin Schneider. Benjamin's time, 5:01.44. There you go. Big round of applause, 18-24. Great job, guys. All right, moving on. Cade Michael. How about Noah Schlesinger? Noah. All right, moving on. One slot, 18-24. Elijah. Bernardo Flores, you're going to Finland.